Danse nito temtik, asini oasis nitsigasun, maskig sik ochinia. Hello, my friends. My name is Morin, and I am from the Enoch Cree Nation in Treaty 6 territory. Today, I have the honor of sharing with you all the 7 sacred teachings. These teachings are the guiding principles of how we should live our lives in a respectful and sacred manner to all living things. It is the guideline of our traditional understanding of who we are and our traditional ways in which we conduct ourselves to one another and to ourselves. It should be noted that these teachings originate from our Anishinaabe relatives, the Ojibwe Nation, and these teachings have been widely adopted across Turtle Island. However, not all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit groups acknowledge these teachings and follow these teachings. So it is quite special when we learn these teachings and apply them to our day-to-day lives. So I'm thankful today to have been presented with tobacco, chiste mao, in order to share in a good way these teachings as they have been shared with me and as I've come to understand them. The first teaching is that of honesty. In Cree, we say, Kweesk ita tisuin. This teaching is represented by our relative, Mistapeo is what we call him, commonly known as Sasquatch. It is said that at one time he walked amongst our people and shared the gift of honesty and how it's important to be honest with one another, but especially to be honest with ourselves. The second teaching is that of humility. In Cree, we say, Tapatemsoin. The animal that represents this sacred teaching is the wolf, Mahigan. In order for a wolf to survive, it must work together in a pack and must know its role in order to ensure survival of the family. This must be done in a humble way. This is what the wolf teaches us. The third teaching is that of truth. In Cree, we say, Dapwewin. Dapwewin is important because in order to be truthful and to live a good life, we must honor truth in everything that we do and say. The animal that represents truth is the turtle, Miskanak. It is said that the turtle was there in the beginning when the teachings came to the people, and that the turtle reminds us to always be truthful to these teachings. The fourth teaching is that of love. In Cree, we say, Saagihitoin. Love is the most powerful medicine that we were gifted with. The elders will remind us to love one another, Saagihitok, and just as importantly, to love yourself, Saagihiso. The animal that gifts us with love is the eagle, known as Kihiu. With love, anything is possible. The fifth sacred teaching is that of courage. In Cree, we say, Soukitehewin. It is important to have courage in order to face our greatest enemy, ourselves. It is said that the animal that shows us courage is the bear. Specifically, the mother bear, as we know, is very courageous and will stand up to larger bears and others for her cubs. Courage is a virtue that we must all work towards every day. The sixth sacred teaching is that of wisdom. In Cree, we say, Inishoin. Wisdom is not to be confused with knowledge, but rather, wisdom is our experiences throughout life. Wisdom is represented by the animal, the beaver, who requires great wisdom in order to regulate waters, to build dams, and to create a home for its family. The seventh teaching, and for me the most important, is that of respect. In Cree, we say, Mana Chihoewin. Respect is important in all walks of life, from the animals to the birds to the insects and the plants and the medicines. Respect is the foundation of our ceremonial way of life, and this virtue is represented by the buffalo, whom we call mustus. Our people have great respect for the buffalo, as it was able to provide everything we needed to survive. One thing I'd like to share is why it's important to offer tobacco. Tobacco is offered in order to receive the teachings in a good way, and that the teachings will stay with you and guide you in your everyday walk. The eagle feather that I'm holding is important to Indigenous people, as the eagle is a highly respected and revered animal. They say the eagle flies high and has great vision, and because of its closeness to Creator, it is able to advocate for us in a good way. The eagle feather teaches us to be respectful, truthful, honest, to have integrity, and to treat each other in a good way. It is said that if we look at an eagle feather, it represents our lives here on earth. From when we are born, into our formative years as a child, into our adult years, becoming parents, and then becoming grandparents, great-grandparents, and back to this pure stage of life. And then we continue our journey on from here. This is what some of the elders remind us of when we see the eagle feather. I'd like to take a moment to talk about protocol, specifically tobacco, and why it is important to offer tobacco when seeking knowledge. The old people remind us that tobacco speaks on our behalf. They would say, "Epixquis tamagoyak." When requesting knowledge, whether it's through stories, songs, dance, art, tobacco should be offered in exchange for those teachings. Because the teachings are alive and have a life force of their own, tobacco will ensure that these teachings stay with us in our everyday walk.